Hello beauties and welcome back to my corner of the internet. If you are new here, then my name is Mariah, also known as Live Life's Beauty, and I'm so glad that you have found me. And if you're a returning subscriber, then thank you so much for joining me again on another video. In today's video, we are going to be making a two-piece set. As always, I have given myself 2 days to make a whole outfit whilst the kids are at home, whilst I'm dealing with a crazy 2-year-old, and whilst I was sick. So talk about a roundup. My friend had a meal for her 30th birthday and I wanted to look nice, but I also wanted something quite casual, so I decided to make this two-piece set. I just couldn't bring myself to buy something when I knew I had so many unfinished projects. This intro is filmed after I filmed the video because I just got straight to it, guys. The kids were at home and I basically looked like a gremlin for 90% of this video, hence why I had to film an introduction looking a little bit more put together. Without further ado, I am gonna hand it over to voiceover Mariah and I will see you at the end of the video.
So for the trousers, I ended up using New Look K6730, and this was a bit of a struggle because my fabric was only so wide and I really wanted to get both of the trousers cut out whilst the fabric was on fold, so I had to do a lot of manoeuvring. As I've stated probably so many times by now, I really thought that my material was more than what I had and that it was bigger than what it was, but it wasn't. And here I'm just showing you that I wanted to make this style of top, but I didn't want the back to cross. I wanted the back to be a high back, so I was trying to see how I could work the pattern in order to not have it cross and to just meet in the back like it did at the front. So I'm putting the pattern together as kind of like a tissue fit, and then I'm just trying it on myself to see if I just fold in that strap part, if it will just close seamlessly. So I do that and I show you guys, and then I remembered that I don't need to do that because I had a pattern that I already had, like a wearable twirl, I suppose you'd say, which was this. But the only problem with this was that I wanted it to be a high neck at the front, so I thought if I turn it around it will give me the kind of look that I'm going for. I don't think I put the picture that I was going for in, but I will put it in now so that you can see the kind of, what's it called, inspiration that I wanted. So I can't remember off the top of my head that pattern, but I will put it on the screen for you guys. But now we find our other dilemma, which was fitting the pattern on this paper. The pattern on the material, because I had to work in a certain stretch because this fabric is only, I think, a one-way stretch. It only stretches one way. So I had to make sure that obviously I was using the right grain, which it didn't even occur to me until I actually thought about it, and then I had to like twist and turn my patterns. But in the end I get it on, and I'm going to save you the long explanation of it all. But I basically had one piece that I could fold in half, and then I had two pieces which the back one's on, and it took me so long to figure this out. I don't know, guys, my morning brain usually kicks in but today it just was not. So I decide again, like, I want the neck higher, I don't want that V-neck, so I put the back on top of the front and I use the neckline of the back, but I still use the slopes of the front, and that did work out great. Also, I would have ideally liked it not to be cut out in two separate pieces. I would have liked it on the fold so that it didn't have that seam down the middle, but I didn't have enough material for that, so I just did my best with what I could. And then the same for the back. As you can see, it's a good job that I ended up checking before I just cut it out, because I was going to cut it out and then I realized that the material underneath it was not even the same size. So I take out that one, I fold that in half, and luckily again I have enough to just cut that out. But I wanted the sleeves to be longer than they were, but again I just couldn't do that with the material that I had, and this pretty much used up all of this material. So I think I go in now to show you that even though I've put it together, that it is still not fully flush. Managed to cut out the bodice and the trousers. I have about an hour left now. I'm going to try and see how much I can get done. whilst I'm kid free. I've just spent what feels like an eternity trying to get a good zigzag stitch, but me and zigzag stitch just don't work. So it is going to be straight stitch for the win. I've tested that out and hopefully, fingers crossed, it all goes good. Okay, so I have managed to finish my top, i.e. done my neckline. I've sewed it down on the facing, however I'm not really happy with how it's looking. I'm not really sure if this material can be ironed, but I will kind of put a towel over it and iron it, and then I think I'm going to stitch down the, I don't know what it's called, but basically this edge of the facing onto the edge of in here just to keep it down, and then that should hopefully help it to lie a bit more flat as well. And then I added some elastic on the bottom. I didn't do a fantastic job because we were working with a little bit of material and I didn't want it to be too short. Now it's not giving the effect that I like, but do bear in mind that you will see the finished product on the day when I am all glammed up and I have a bra on. I think that will help as well, just to emphasize the bagginess as well. I could also pull it up a bit so that it has this kind of drape, but ultimately there wasn't enough material, which I am learning that I maybe could have got away with it and had a bit more material, because if I put you down, and ignore the mess, it's the school holidays still, I'm working around what I've got. We go to the trousers. My trousers are uber long, so I definitely could have shortened my trousers and extended my top, which is exactly what I wanted to do. However, I was really worried about my trousers being too short. I do have really long legs. I am 5'8", so yeah, I'm gonna cut the trousers. I'm gonna cut them a lot, but I am going to leave them quite long just because this is an outfit that I would wear with heels. I don't have any major heels now, guys. Ever since COVID, I am definitely a kitten heel girly, so even though I'm gonna have heels, they're not gonna be super high. I decided to do it where you put the waistband in it, but part of me wants to do the waistband like this and have it like really tight and cinched. So I haven't closed up the gap yet, just because I'm not sure if that is something that I want to do. And then last but not least is my sleeves. So again, we have a lot of mismatched pieces because I didn't have enough to make it as long as I wanted on the back and the front, but I really like the length of the front and I'm so sad. I just love where it hits there. I don't know why. I think that's the perfect length for me. But ultimately I'm going to have to cut it a lot shorter to match up with this side, and I'm thinking to leave the arms floaty like this. I don't think it needs hemming, and I'm not sure if this material will fray. It hasn't seemed to be fraying yet. Again, I'm unsure whether to do a lace hem or whether to just do a rolled hem, because I don't want it to be very bulky. I'm not sure how this is looking on camera. In person, it's very metallic-y, shiny. But if you are new to this video, then this isn't the original look of this material. It was more of a purple, like a neon purple shift, but because I put it in the dryer, it took away that ultra shine, so it's more like a bronzy purpley color now. But again, you will see when I am out and I get better images the final product. Also with the trousers, I do like the trousers, but they are a bit straight. I wanted it to have like more of a pleating kind of look in the trousers, but again, I had a little bit of material and I was working with what I had. Also, I will show you right now before I forget, I had a boo-boo. So again, in the interest of having as much fabric as I wanted, I used the selvage, and you can see that when I stitched it, I basically have a little black line showing. I did go in and stitch it closer, but I obviously didn't stitch it close enough because we can still see the salvage of the material, but I'm not gonna stress about it, and I think it's fine. I don't think a lot of people are gonna notice it straight away. However, it is noticeable. So I have made some adjustments. I did have to untack this side because it was pinching a little bit, but now it's lying a little bit better, and I have changed the hem of the trouser. I've changed the hem by adding the elastic and pulling it so that it is the same as the top, and I like the silhouette a lot better. I don't know if it's noticeable on camera, but I can tell it's very loose. But when I was measuring it, it seemed tight around my body, and then I put it on and it still feels loose. So I don't really know what to do, but I'm definitely going to wear them as high-waisted trousers. This almost looks like a one-piece jumpsuit, which is the vibe I'm going for always. So I can wear it as this, or I suppose you could pull it down and, you know, have a bit of midriff showing if that's what you fancy, but I definitely won't. So I put it up as high as I can, and then I can either put the top down a little bit so it is on my waist, or a little bit higher so it's on my higher waist. My problem is my stomach. I just have stomach issues, and some days I'm like this and some days I'm like this. So it's riding quite high, like this is riding up and this is riding up or down. It can't just sit flat. So I kind of have to pick one, and I will pick above the belly. So with this top as well, I can keep it like this, or I can roll it under, which is what I've been doing. So I'm pulling up as high as I can, and then from here, this is where I will judge the length of the trousers. And I'm gonna go. This is like the 7th interruption. So here I'm just hand sewing the facing to the actual bodice because it kept flapping up, and when I was doing it on my machine, it kept like not going in a straight line and kind of veering off and causing puckers. So I did have to seam rip that, and now I'm just hand stitching it instead. So here I'm just going to talk a bit about my outfit because I'm pretty sure I couldn't get my words out whilst filming the video with all the 20 million interruptions that I had on the day. So as you can see, guys, I've washed my outfit and it has lost colour again, which is leading me to believe that it's not the dryer, it's probably the washing machine that's turning it colour, because now it's like officially silver, whereas in my video it's more of like a bronze colour. So
yeah, I won't be repurchasing that material. If it's going to keep losing colour every time I wash it, then it's basically going to fade away to nothing. And I need to wash my clothes in the washing machine. I'm definitely not going to a dry cleaners. I'm just not that type of girly. And I have been leaving it to air dry, so it could only be the washing machine that's losing the colour, which when I first washed it and it lost its colour, I did think that it was because I was putting it in the tumble dryer. I did put it in the tumble dryer, but no, because it's lost its colour again, and that's from the washing machine. However, this material really shines in the sun, and it's really what you need to kind of give it its full potential, because at home when I was sewing it up, I was like, oh my gosh, this is giving bin bag vibes. And then on the day, the sun really came through for me, and it really gave what it was supposed to give. Okay, so yeah, we do have a lot of caveats with this outfit. So first of all, we have the neckline, which isn't the best neckline in the world, but I think I did a really good job on it. With the waistband, I just did a simple gathered waist in the end, and when you look really closely, you can see the stitching from where I pulled out the folded waistband, because I did do a folded waistband at first, and then I realized that I liked the look of this better. I did run out of elastic also, and I had to add in this little bit which is on the front, and I wish it was on the back, because then it could have like indicated that that is the back of the trousers instead of indicating to me that that is the front, where there's just this horrible mismatched piece. I don't think I'm going to go back and hem any of this now, just because of the material that it is and how it's kind of losing its shine and changing every single time I wash it. I don't think I want to go through that. If you are new here, I'm at the stage where I'm kind of just more concerned about the outside of my garments rather than the inside of them. But for an outfit, for a one-day special occasion, it did exactly what it needed to do, and I will still wear this outfit, guys, whether it just becomes a house outfit or I kind of brave it again in the sun, but as a silver tone instead of the bronzy tone. I'm pretty sure I brought 3 meters of this material, and I thought that it would be enough to make a trouser and top set, but it wasn't, guys. So I think from now on I'm going to have to buy 4 meters of fabric if I want to make 2-piece sets, maybe 5 at a push if I want to make really like something extravagant with frills and, you know, long sleeves, the bells and whistles. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Do subscribe if you want to see more videos. I will officially have some time alone to start cranking out my projects and giving you weekly videos, so I'm super excited. Do not forget to live life's beauty, because life is beautiful and it's out there waiting to be lived by you, and hopefully I will see you in another video. Bye.